I asked the doctor how our loved one had handled that conversation. The doctor's exact words were, "I don't often use the word entitled, but she seems to be a very difficult person." I said, "Well, we refer to her as Your Majesty because she expects everyone to wait on her." The nurse said, or the doctor said, "All of the nurses have noticed that she will not lift a finger to help herself." I said, "Is there a medical reason why?" And she said, "None at all. It's a preference. She wants to be waited on hand and foot," which is what we've seen at home. Bottom line, though, the importance of this discussion isn't just to make sure that her care is managed by someone other than family. The real important part of this, I guess it's equally important because this is a huge piece of the puzzle, is to get it on paper that she is non-compliant with doctor's instructions, which is how she ended up in the hospital in the first place. She's non-compliant with her medications, and she will not take direction or advice from family members. Having those three things as part of her chart becomes part of a potential legal record. And when you've got a doctor who's willing to make those statements based on observation, when it gets to the point down the road that we will need to work on declaring her medically incompetent, if she isn't willing to do the things she needs to do to stay safe, like getting into assisted living, which again, we're not leaving her out to dry, she's just not letting us help her. So we've given her everything she needs to do this herself, and we're giving her a brief amount of time to do that before we step in and kind of take the reins if she isn't willing to do it, for her safety, because we don't want her to end up with pneumonia again in the hospital now that we know what she's up to. Getting all of this into the medical record also makes sure that you are protected from a little bit of liability here when you've got someone outside of the home recognizing those patterns of abuse. When other people see it happening and it's on paper in a document like the medical record, you now have some kind of a background to bolster your argument. I'm going to say here how vitally important it is to do this in that small window of opportunity before discharge. When she was admitted, I made sure to let the nurse know she's non-compliant. She's not a good historian of her own health, meaning she lies about her medical stuff and whether she's taking her medications on time. And 3, that she had stated she hadn't taken her medications in 10 days because she hadn't eaten in 10 days when we had fixed her meals over the course of at least 4 of those days that we knew that she was sick. We didn't know she'd been 10 days was news to me. I had no idea she had been sick that long, and I don't think she was because we'd seen her over that. Those things were important for the doctor to know. You're setting up here are my real concerns, not I don't like this person, I don't want to deal with her. You are telling them, here are 4 things that I can point to right now that are related to her safety. Can you please check on them for me? And we need to know if she's capable so that we can make sure she's safe. Then we move on to phase 2.